Hey everyone, I have with me the Hasselblad XCD 45p lens. I think the P stands for pancake or portable, not too sure, but it is pretty small. I'll be comparing this with the regular XCD 45mm 3.5 lens that came out in the beginning when the X1D was released. Four things I want to check out is, of course, the image quality between the two lenses, the focusing speed, how quick these lenses focus compared to each other. Third thing is the shutter sound, how it sounds, if the 45p is really silent, as they say. And lastly, the fourth thing is the ISO. I know 3.5 and f4 is not that far off from each other, but since I've been shooting with the 45p, I noticed the ISO jump at least a stop higher for some reason. And we are still in PCOR 1, Pandemic Condition of Readiness 1 here on Guam. So not doing any model photo shoots as of right now. So I'm just here in the garden and we'll be taking some pictures of flowers. Alright, let's take a look at the raw files. First, we'll be looking at image quality. And when I say image quality, I mean the sharpness of the lenses and also the bokeh. These raw files have been unedited. They have not been touched. The only thing that I have done is just adjust the white balance just for the pictures to match. And the 45p will always be on the left-hand side. So zooming in to 100%, as you can see, both of these images shot in the middle of the flower, the orchid, is very sharp. You may be wondering, why is a 45p the image closer? That's because the 45p can focus closer at 1.1 feet versus the 45 3.5, which I believe focuses at 1.3 feet. Okay, let's take a look at the next set of photos. Again, 45p will always be on the left hand side. Zooming in to 100%. Very sharp from both lenses, very sharp. And that's the thing about the X1D camera system. These are colors straight out of the camera. These colors are very natural. At the same time, is very vibrant. It's really hard to explain with the Hasselblad files, but the colors coming out from the Hasselblad from both lenses, very good. Next, let's check the bokeh. And for this test, I did my best to, let's make 45p on the left hand side. I did my best to shoot at the same distance, even though the 45p can focus closer. Of course, if we use the 45p to focus closer, then the bokeh will be more obvious and it'll be much more smoother, but same distance for both. Zooming into the flower here, yes, it is very sharp. Now let's take a look at bokeh on the upper right hand side. It is really hard to say which is much smoother or much more softer. I would have to say from pixel peeping, the 45p f4 looks a little bit more softer, less nervous, as you see in this area on the right hand side with the 3.5. Less nervous with the f4, but of course zooming out, it's not that prominent, but zooming in, pixel peeping, it does make a difference. All right, so we're gonna check out the focusing speed and also the shutter sound. Okay, so just take a listen to the focusing motor in the 45p. Not so quiet. I do think the XCD 45 is faster in focusing. Okay, let's take a look inside. Also, what I noticed is focusing distance is actually much closer. Not there. Okay, right here. I don't know if you heard that, but that's a shutter sound. Focusing distance is closer than the XCD 45 3.5. Okay, let's hear that shutter sound again. Okay, here it is. Very quiet. Okay, so now I have the 45 3.5 lens here. No lens hood, just so it can be fair. And listen to the focusing. That's actually the shutter speed I took it. So it seems to me this focus is quicker than the 45p. Okay, going inside. Yeah, I can't focus that close, gotta move back. There we go. Okay, listen to that shutter sound one more time. Okay, here it is here. Really loud compared to the 45p. Focusing speed test, XCD 45 3.5. Okay, got focus. Good. Okay, let's try the 45p. All right, focusing speed test of the XCD 45p. To me, seems like it's much slower. I don't know if it's only slower on the Hasselblad X1D only, but it's faster on the X1D Mark II, but much lower. Super quiet shutter though. Well, that blackout was kind of long. And this has the latest firmware. Let's try the blackout again. Let me put on the XCD 45. Okay, we're testing the blackout here. Once again, the focus speed, yeah, is faster. But testing the blackout, let's see. Oh, the 45p seems to be faster for blackout. Oh no, this is quicker. Interesting. All right, so checking out high ISO, it was very dim inside the house. This is dead flowers in a pot and on the living room table. I was wrong about the ISO changing. As you can see, even though I shot the 45p at f4 and the 45 3.5 at 3.5 on the camera, auto white balance, auto ISO, it both registered at 6400. And of course, when zooming in and checking, right side still loading, checking both here, it may seem like the 3.5 is a little sharper, but I think it was just my misfocus. And again, it was very dim inside the house, but yeah, you don't have to worry about losing light. 3.5 and f4 is very close to each other, so expect the ISO results to be the same. But in conclusion, let me put a nicer pic for the 45p up here. In conclusion, if you have not purchased the original 45 3.5, I will suggest, of course, getting the 45p. The focus is slower on the X1D Mark I that I've experienced. I don't know about the X1D Mark II, but I'm pretty sure it should be the same focusing speed. But 45p focusing is much slower, but then you get a smaller lightweight lens, you get the quieter shutter, and also the focusing motor isn't as loud as the original 45 3.5. If you're the type of person that you like to hear the shutter sound, you like to feel feedback because the focusing motor is stronger in the 3.5, and you already own it, I don't see a reason to upgrade, because a 45 3.5 is still a pretty small lens for a medium format camera. So it really depends. If what's most important is a quiet shutter sound and a quiet focusing speed compared to 3.5, then sell your 45 3.5 and get the 45p. Thank you everyone for watching Guam Photography, and if you haven't, please subscribe.